I know this video is a really long one, but I do ask that you watch the whole thing through. I try and make these really important videos kind of like 20 minutes long, but it wound up being 50. Your loss, not mine. Or your gain. Maybe. Throughout all the series that I've done, especially when I was starting out on YouTube, the first couple of years specifically, I always made intros. I think when I first started, I wanted it to be like a thing of mine to create introductions for almost every single video that I possibly could. And that was a reality for a good while. In fact, the majority of you guys know me for that. I mean, the outro, the guitar sound by Ronald Jenkins, but for those that have really been around for Crazy Craft and Crazier Craft, you know, the disorganized fun where it's like, you know what I mean? Hopefully that probably didn't sound all that good, but you get the point. It's a staple that I've done for a while, and looking back at some of my older intros, I didn't even realize that I did them pretty much since the beginning. Now, I know that my first series I ever did, that had an intro, but I didn't know that I kept it going so soon after I started my career. And it kind of shows a little bit of, you know, where I've gotten and how I've gotten, definitely, that I had a lot of like really good motivation when I was starting out as a YouTuber, which I think is one of the best things that you could do for people that are beginning YouTube, streaming on Twitch, whatever. You got to show that you're really invested in it. You want to take time to do something just a little bit different. And I wasn't doing intros to be different than other people. It was just one of those things that I added on, you know, a little cherry on top of the content that probably made my voice in videos back then a little bit more bearable than they were. So I figured it'd be fun to do a little reaction video to all my old intros, because I guarantee, I don't care how long you guys have been around, there are some that you have not seen before. And I'm not saying to go back and watch those videos. I'm just saying I want to take a reflective time to see, you know, how much I've changed, what I've done, and how little I've changed. Because I'll be honest, I went through all these and I haven't changed at all. The first proper series that I ever did on my channel, voiding Achievement Crafter back in 2012, was Extreme Hardcore. This series held a lot of problems for me because it was the first series that I never completed. I went through all 26 episodes, got to the end dimension, and just never uploaded the video. That was a foreshadowing, wasn't it? Lo and behold, the first intro I have ever made.
I am ready to die.
Yeah, so starting off, things a little bit morbid. That was the person down there. I apparently didn't know how to generate my own skin during that. That was Booshman97. That whole introduction was done with a help from myself, Boosh, and I believe Kyle and Dart were there as well too. I don't think they were doing anything, but this was like early BYD days, the ASF server, the place that got me here. So they helped me out on that. I thought it was the best thing in the world. I thought that intro was the greatest thing ever, and you know, as you're rewatching it back, it's so simple. Like, just running around an island, pacing while there's just a bunch of mobs here. And I told him, I'm like, listen, when I lightning down all of these mobs using a command, you need to block your sword as fast as possible. I think it took 5, 6 different tries because I was just some picky, annoying brat, but Boosh, I appreciate the help from that. But yeah, first intro I ever made. I wasn't very good on the text. This is something that didn't improve for a long while. I never really got the text right. Different italics and then just this weird, 2012 was a dark year for sure. But the Extreme Hardcore series had a couple of intros that I made separately throughout it, and I also made individual videos on every one of them. So this was the second intro that I think debuted midway through the series. So already off the bat, you know that I still never really got the text right. You can't learn that quickly. But I did learn how to do the earthquake effect in Sony Vegas, so, you know, that's always the little shake right there. Oh, intense as hell. He had me curling at the edge of my seat. But a little improvement that I had with this for sure was probably the fading out, because it was a lot it was a lot smoother than the one before. So better intro for sure. The blocking of the sword didn't need to be as quick. This was a different person helping me out, by the way. I think name was Brown Genius 98, I believe. This guy helped me out, so cheers to you. Appreciate that. And that debuted, yeah, halfway through the series. I was so excited for this, man. I made a whole separate video like, yo, guys, I got a new intro for it. And everybody was like, whoa! Because it didn't take much to get people excited back in 2012. YouTube was a new thing. If I was to upload something like this now, I don't know. Everybody would be like, okay, that's cool. Where's the video? So, and then the third intro, this one happened a little bit. This one was toward the end of the series. This intro was really good, actually, looking back in it. The text, obviously, you know, I still didn't get that right. That did not change throughout the whole thing, but the music was a lot better. It was a lot more intense. I really liked what I did with the glow effect on the dart. So there was a slight improvement with the text, but this was probably one of my favorite ones. The thing that makes me cringe a little bit, though, is that I didn't learn how to really do fade outs with music. So at the end of it, when you do like the brrrah, I just took a really bad soundbite and just stretched it. You can hear it distorted, like, it's so bad. But this is definitely my favorite out of the three. So that was my first series that I did, you know, full intros, full outros. I wish I would have finished it, but oh god. Still, very good first intro. And then a little bit further into 2012, I did a thing. What was this right here? Yeah, Adventure Multiplex with Zach. So Zach, Hippo, Hippo IOQQIH, 1993, was a friend of, well, he was part of ASF and all that, and one of the guys that I looked up to the most. Probably, I thought the funniest guy on there for sure. We did a series together for a little bit that did not last that long, but we did. The intro was cool. Someone needs to go back and kick me how I even put this. Why would I know my text skills? Like, I didn't know how to use DeFont or any website that apparently had better text in it. But why the hell in an intro would I do W/ and then properly capitalize? I don't know, this is a big problem for me, but once again, 2012 Brandon, every one of these I approved at one point or another. I liked the fade in that I did with this, you know, the gradual, like, ooh, really, you know, keeping the text moving, keeping it going with. I like that, actually. That's really good. I feel like if I was to reapply that now, I can maybe make it look a little bit better, but this is I don't know. And I mean, shaders wasn't really a thing that I ever dealt. Actually, I lied. My next intro has shaders in it. So no, this one was just a terrible intro for the background, but yeah, it was still good. This series was basically like you go through every chamber. It's like an adventure map that has different like puzzle, adventure, PvP combat. It was a really well-made map. The intro, yeah. Next intro was a little mini game that I played with myself. I believe Matt, Mitch, and Jerome and Zach, I think. Might be wrong. It was called Scavenger Hunt. Very simple, right to the point. The background did not move at all. This is Brown Genius 98 as well too, helping me out with this. We were pretty close around that time. Like I said, you know, we were part of the BYD server. We all kind of knew each other from that. And we just, yeah, I'm just like, hey dude, you want to help me out with an intro? He was like, sure. And this, at this point, I had learned like, hey, you can actually disguise yourself as me instead of, you know, like all the way back here being like, oh yay, who's that Pikachu over there? It's Pikachu skin for those that were curious. But yeah, this was really simple intro. The fade-ins didn't really work. Didn't really. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the. I did learn how to download a font at this point though, but still not the best. So that was 2012, and then 2013. Oh boy. Now, I feel so bad about this, but the 5 little clips right here, this one and this one, these are 7 intros I completely forgot that I did until I looked through my thumbnail folder. So, I was already editing this video and finished it and completely forgot I did these things in the past. That's 7 more intros just to pile onto the already long list of them, so let's get into them. Temple of the Three Gods had an interesting one because the beauty came from the shaders. You could tell that around this late 2012 era, I was kind of just discovering shaders. In fact, I think I might have actually just discovered shaders here and been like, whoa, I'm gonna use that for an intro. And then not too many months passed where I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna use it again. I love this shot. I think it's gorgeous. I don't know if you guys remember this series or not. And if you don't, it's not a surprise. This was an experiment Jerome and I did, again, back in 2012, where we posted every other episode on each other's channels. So episode 1 would be on my end, episode 2 would be on his, episode 3 would be on mine, episode 4 would be on his. It would, and to clarify, not like POV wise, but you legitimately, there was not an episode 2, 4, or 6 that was on my channel, because 2, 4, and 6 was on Jerome's channel. We tried it as a cross promotion sort of thing. It was a shitty idea, but I appreciate the, thank you for the experiment, Jerome. Good to know early on into YouTube that that does not work. Started 2013, the Brimstone Revival. It was a beautiful adventure map that I played a while ago. Wonderful storyline, absolutely adored it. But the intro itself, I really like this. I used the same shot, and I believe the same text for my thumbnails. So I essentially was making a thumbnail and an intro in one. Kind of weird, but I really liked it. And I think actually as the parts went on, like 4, 5, and 6, I made the intro different to where the text stayed while the back blacked out, which I think I had commented somewhere a little bit future on in 2013 and 2014 that I learned, but I guess I learned it pretty earlier than I thought. This intro, ultimately though, I mean, they had the water in the background. It was very symmetrical, although I think, let me see here, hold on. That's 68 pixels wide, and that's, yep. Okay, so not perfectly symmetrical. Brandon, come on, man, you gotta be symmetrical with this sort of thing. You have a straight-on photo where everything is symmetrical. You have to get it right, and I failed. Look at this block. Look at how far it extends out from the sandstone pillar. Look at this. That's what, 242 versus, come on. Could do better. The walls is where I first learned how to do text to a certain degree. This text is, like, it's okay. This right here, I think was because the background sounded kind of techie, although this looks like popsicles. I don't know, it's a little bit weird. I do like how I did the, boom, just like that with the bass hit. That was really good, and I love that. The walls, of course, I think was my first server involvement that I really started getting my name out there and people remember me for. You know, the anvil kill on Jerome, this whole thing, or not on Jerome, but with Jerome, this whole thing. And if I dare, I was gonna play a little bit of it, but I think that was back, was that Brimstone? Yeah, listen to Jerome's mic 6 years ago.
Hello everybody, what's going on? Jerome here.
Point improvement, technology's come a long way. It was a good intro. I like the walls one. It could have had a lot of improvements for early 2013. It's got a good little, yeah, it's got that punch to it. I like it. Battle Race was a different kind of intro, because it was just a one-off video. I don't think we used this for more than one. I think it's episode 1, but I don't think this was ever episode 2. It might have been, but the way I did this was really cool. Obviously, the text, I learned how to do shadows. Not the one, Chief. No, especially because this has like an outline around it. No, none of it. No shaders, nothing. Not good. The one thing I did like about it though is that if you didn't, this is a aspect of the map. Something would teleport you after it hit green and say you failed. I think if you didn't hit by a certain point. And I used that little jump cut where it teleported me to transition into the featuring, which I think is the only time I've ever done featuring in an intro, even up until now. A little bit of a weird one, but it was cute. Quirky, and unnecessary, but cute. So at the end of this one, you can tell, I was learning how to use Sony Vegas. Hey, TV filter. Nice, love that. Super Smash Bros, I mean, the intro, I could have done so much better. It would have been better without the text, or maybe just a simple number, but putting this many letters into this tiny little corner, especially when these letters are so small compared to these two giant letters, the logo, I guess, not the play either. I mean, it's, you know, TV effect, the shaky and everything like that. It's not bad. You know, there's not a lot going on. It's simple, but again, that's terrible. I hate that. Yeah, not one of my better intros. Capture the Wool days, baby. Oh, this was fun, right? And you see that over there on the right side? That's my map. That's Abandoned Ocean right there. I made that map. For those that aren't aware, Capture the Wool back in 2013, when people started to realize who I was, I started playing with more people and, you know, really networking and getting my name out there with friends. I mean, it was more just playing with friends and networking, I'll be honest. It wasn't much effort. It was just like, hey, you want to play some games? And we did. For those that don't know, I made like 4 different maps. It was Divided Forest, Abandoned Ocean, which was a pun in itself, or an irony in itself. How do you abandon an ocean? And one was like a mushroom map in the void, and the other one was I can't remember what the other one was. All I know is I had a lot of fun with World End. I made my own maps, and I actually, it was cool because it doesn't say it in this one here, but I got my friends to play on these maps, and they worked well. Because Capture the Wool, for those who don't know, you get this big like rectangle, you put a line down the middle, and there's 3 capture points. You got to go bring back every one of the enemy's wools without them killing you. And so making my own maps was pretty easy because I just kind of took the template for the first one and changed it up and made it around, and it was fun, man. That was just spending hours and hours on end with World Edit, and then this intro as well too. I'm wrong, actually. The next intro didn't come for a little bit after, but this is another really fun time in my life. By far my favorite intro that I've seen. I was just creaming at this whole thing. Very inappropriate for 2013, but still inappropriate now. I was in love with this whole thing, and everything was in sync as well too. The page turning, the text moving, everything. They got the 8 that comes in, and then the page turn, and then the fade out was. This was. I don't know where I got the text right. The text was beautiful. I got the glow effect behind it, the black and white, the TV film effects. This was basically me learning how to use Sony Vegas, but A+ intro for me. This was my Battle Dome server back in 2013. The Hut, Battle Dome, which was what started the Nexus as well too. It, you know, went into that. Basically, I had the Hut, which was, as the name, you know, provides, my own little private survival island world, or not survival island, but just survival world SMP that you could just build with and protect your land and stuff. Survival world, right? And then that migrated into a Battle Dome server. Myself, Turk, and Jerome, we all made our own server on that one. Kyle helped us well too a little bit. And then we hooked up with Mitch as well, and he decided to turn things, or we all decided to accumulate turn things into the Nexus. And then as the Nexus went on, I, you know, stepped down from it. Mitch and Jerome took over as creative lead, and I basically just left because I wanted to focus more on YouTube. So at the end of it all, I was no longer an owner, but you know, that whole just, oh man, this was so fun. Just, I love this intro so much. It was my favorite one. The music was perfect. Everything was great. I love it. Dungeon Realms, man. If you guys are not around during that time, and if there's any series on here that I have to recommend would just be so interesting to watch, Dungeon Realms takes the cake, without a doubt. It was an RPG. Is it RPG or MMO? I don't know, and I apologize for not knowing. It was essentially RuneScape in Minecraft, with shops, gear, leveling different tier territories, skills you could create. The lead developer of it was Vac. If you don't know who Vac is, Cosmic PvP, that whole deal. One of the best coders I've ever met in anywhere, honestly. His work is phenomenal. And this server, for being in 2013, was so far ahead of its time. It was insane. Like, you had your own separate island. I can't explain it. But if you think of RuneScape, you think, oh, Minecraft had a RuneScape port? That's gotta be crap. It was I gotta calm down. This was an amazing series. It went all the way to an insanely epic finish. One of my favorite finales I've ever done. I basically got the entire server to myself and completed the Multi Throne Room, which was the end game, pretty much. It was insane. I loved it. I also had a guild with me as well, too, Valor. And it was, man, this was a great series. I did season 2 that didn't really work out, but the first season was just probably my favorite server. I want to say I think I've ever been on. More than the Hut, more than the Nexus, more than, and this is just for playstyle, not, you know, like ownership or anything, because in the Nexus, you know, the Hut Battle Dome and stuff, but in terms of playstyle, you know, Mind Z was great, you know, everything was great, but Dungeon Realms, by far my favorite series I've ever done, my favorite server I've ever played on. I loved it so much. Great series. Great, pretty okay intro. I'm supposed to be talking about the intros, not the text was good. Yeah, the jumping. I thought that was the cutest thing. You know, cut the text right when the player jumps over, like, oh, what a smooth transition. And then the other player comes in, it's like, episode 1. Like, he's talking to me. That was, I was a creative genius. The Minecraft Battle Royale. Let me tell you, this was not Hunger Games. This was not just a game of survival games. This was a fully custom plugin in a vanilla world. And, I mean, look at the skins. This was a huge YouTuber event. You had Sky Does Minecraft, you had Ryan XRPMX, you had Mitch Jerome, Captain Sparkles, you had Ant Venom, you had Deadlocks, I believe iPwnstar for Hire, Matt, and there were so many more. This was a big deal, and I remember making this intro. And it's a little dark. The text is not the best, you know, the whole panning over, but this part right here, I loved making the transition between all the skins. Kara, I believe, helped me out with this. I might be wrong, but I think she did. I can't remember. I think so. No, I might be wrong. No. I don't know if we were together at this point or not. Yeah, I don't know if... I don't remember the exact day. I know it was midway through 2013, so it was just around... We've been together for 5 years. We got together July 7th, which was when Dungeon Realms was going on. This might have been her. I don't remember, though. It might have actually been Devin, Turkmelon. I don't know, but I know that we played together, and this was... The intro is fantastic. I loved it. One of my favorite intros I've ever made for anything. Bit of a longer one. It was like an introduction because it was just a one-off thing. So the intro was a little bit longer than a series intro. But I won this. And that, I think... I don't know if it really got my name out there too much. I don't know how many people of these actually uploaded the video. But the idea... a freaking Hypixel, man. You know, not even a YouTuber. Just well, I mean, actually, he was a YouTuber back then. You know, his maps and stuff. But... It's such an array of interesting people, and 24 players, I won it, and it was really a cool moment for me. I don't think that did much, might have done a little bit, but just the whole experience was wonderful. It was amazing to participate in. I wish we could do something like this again, because this was essentially what Hunger Games was at its core. You know, survival games, Hunger Games now, you know, Battle Royale and such too. They're just games where you drop in and have a little bit of fun. But this was like when, you know, the Minecraft Hunger Games did it first meme that you see on Twitter. This was that. You know, this was before Battle Royale games became a real thing, or before they really took off, and Minecraft did it first. And this, although the, you know, 2013 might not have been at its core when it was really around, but this was like the whole shell of what it was. This was the whole, I shouldn't say shell, the whole package. You think of Minecraft Battle Royale, this was the epiphany of that. And this is a weird one. This is a weird one. Capture the Wool, this intro, I made it for a video later in 2013. This was terrible compared to the first one that I did here. Like, this one, better contrast around here, better backgrounds. The text was better. The glow effect in the background was better. The transition when it ended off, the pop. Versus this is just... it's just flat. I knocked out the torch on here, so for the intro's sake, I could stop. This intro was terrible, and I'm like, there's no way that I made this 10 months after the first one, but apparently I did. I don't know if I was insanely busy or stupid or whatever, if I had amnesia and forgot how to use the computer or Sony Vegas, but this is still very weird to me, the fact that I went backwards, essentially making the same thing 10 months later. Doesn't make any sense. You could maybe say the same thing about this one compared to the first one. I think this wasn't as good of an intro. I really love what I did with the text or the signs. People have done that all the time. You see it in TV shows or whatever, where you're painted by the street and the street name will be the title of the show or the episode number or whatever. Same thing here. I love that. And the end of it with the music did transition into the video, which is something that I started to learn in late 2013, to have the music blend into when the talking starts so it doesn't just cut off immediately. Something that almost all intros I feel should have. It should always keep the flow. The intro should never stop, should continue going. As for, I mean, it's just very dark. It's not as exciting, I guess, as the first one here. That's a multiplex. Where was it? Was it this one? No, it was this one right here. You know, this one, a little bit more exciting. Yeah, the players jump and stuff. Yeah, the zombie that was moving around. It kind of comes down to this one was just a bit more boring, I think. I like this idea, but it's a little bit more boring of an intro. And now, 2014, we had a little bit of a gap in the, no series were being done, no intros were being made, a little bit of a gap, and then a little oddball came around midway through 2014. Of course, the standard fade out of the background while the text stays in place. This is probably, I want to say, one of my least favorite intros. It's boring as hell, which is probably why the series didn't do very well. I think I mentioned a little bit later or earlier in this video, because again, second take, that you catch your audience's interaction through the first few seconds, and if your intro is not good, then, you know, this is not good. I mean, it's just, the text takes too long to come up. Like, why are you not telling me what it is sooner? There's nothing going on here. You know, if there was a little bit more action in this second or two, but you're not... Why is it's delayed so much? And then over here, this panning, I hate this because I didn't learn how to use motion tracking, and I didn't until much later in my career. So I'm like trying to balance the text as best I can inside of this, which just looks awkwardly done. No, This is probably one of my least favorite intros I've ever made. Windcraft is a beautiful server. I just didn't give it the time of day that it needed. And I definitely didn't give it the intro that it needed. Marvelous Minecraft Misadventures, and the first time that you heard Disorganized Fun in an intro. It wasn't Crazy Craft, it wasn't Crazier Craft, it was this shit, alright? Marvelous Minecraft Misadventures. Tell me how a name like that didn't pop off. I just want you guys to take a look at this. Could you tell how proud I was of the name, of the text, of everything? Like, look at the way it... Oh, look at that. Oh my god. I was so proud of this, and I must have watched it back like 30, 40 times after watching it over 200 more times. The only thing that kind of irritates me is I apparently didn't learn sound leveling back then, so the intro actually gets quieter. I hate that. The drop makes it quieter. It's not how you're supposed to do things. But this was such a... this series did not last very long. It was basically, oh hey, I'm gonna go into a bunch of different servers and just do random shit. And it had a good premise. It was just a boring idea. You know, like, the idea might have been good, but it was very lame at its core, and you could see I really had fun with the shaders, panning over. For some reason, I'm like, oh yeah. You know, let's make sure people are really, you know, really on their toes. Let's flip this one upside down. Yeah. Midway through 2014, man. Everything, all the other intros that I showed you, they're in the past. This is where we're at right now in terms of progress, so that was a time. And then a little bit later in 2014, almost a year and a few months after the first one, maybe even a little bit longer, maybe around 2 years at this point, we had a sequel of the Adventure Multiplex. There was a lot in this intro that I liked, a lot that I didn't like. I hate that I'm still hanging on to the earthquake text thing where it... I hate that I was still using that. I got the text a little bit better, you know, the Minecraft text, that's so good compared to the first one. The multiplex, this right here, well bam! Alright, like Summit 1G in here, well bam! Alright, that was good, that little 2 right there. And, you know, despite that, this was, I mean... Yeah, I learned how to use Defy. I learned how to, you know, the text is no longer the issue, right? Although the intro was a little bit kind of sketch, and the music cut right here, just listen to that. I hate that so much. I cut the intro, like the beginning and the end of a song together, and just, yeah, not good. But this is the first time where I learned how to kind of fade out the background and leave the text up front, making it more dramatic. The part 1 stays in full opacity, and then the end just, it's full black at that point. That was something I really liked, and I think it blended in. No, the intro did end, the music ended and everything. So there's a lot about this intro that I like, a lot that I don't like. The background is a little bit boring, I think. Mainly, I think honestly, just the earthquake makes this so much more amateur than it could have been. And with the end of one era, starting on to the other, late 2014, October was the month. The intro, all of you, I mean, not all of you, but I'm sure a lot of you remember. How to Minecraft. Yep. That's where, you know, thank God before I did this and people started watching my content that I had all these years and series of experiences of making intros. So I could make one of the most basic intros ever with just the slap. Not bad, honestly. You know, it just pops on your screen. There's nothing dramatic about it. There's nothing special about it. But the background's gorgeous. I just wish that You know, the panning up and down. It needed to be faster. I mean, I say that actually, my content back then was really relaxed and laid back, so maybe it didn't. I gave people... I think actually, this was, this tempo and pace for the intro fit my content very well. So I'd say this is a really good intro. There was nothing much to it. It was just simple, cut, clean, quick to the point, and, you know, it did actually, if I can get the frame, the Minecraft did come into the screen very quickly, but it's not just like the image appeared, so thank God I did that at least. This intro was good. I liked it a lot. Despite that this is one of my longer intros for a video, my favorite aspect about it, and what makes this one of my favorite intros I've ever made, is the sound where the 1 pops up. Listen for the, you know, right there at the end, the medieval. I don't know if you guys ever played it. Old PlayStation 1 game. I think PlayStation 2 maybe? I don't remember. Old game. I could listen to that sound for 50 years and be content with my life. That's the only thing I want to focus on in this intro. Yeah, it's well done. Okay, cool. But the most important part. My nostalgic heart is happy. Beginning of 2015, Mad Pack 2 with me and Vic. Loved that series. Really did. It was a great time. Just made him, man. Really, really fun. This intro, you can see I'm starting to kind of get an idea of what I've done in the past. Kind of the, you know, with the quick transition, changing up the color in the background. And the same thing with the adventure multiplexing. I leave the episode in while the background fades. I started paying attention more to the music and the audio that was going on, because around this time I realized audio is so important for an intro. And I wish I would have added some intense music or like something a little bit more peaceful, because it was a very long intro, but this background music right here, or background sounds, made sure all of those were added in. I even blended it together. This is a really good intro. I liked it. All a bit dark. I think this could have been a little bit brighter, you know, despite the fact that it, you know, is a very dark series. Good intro. Not much I can really complain about. A lot of good things I could say about it. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Sorcery PvP. We won't talk about that, but the intro, I love this one. I loved this intro because it was essentially my 2015 version of the Battle Dome intro with the book that had all the Sony Vegas effects. This was the same thing. I learned how to overlay backgrounds, you know, like the dust flying, the sparkles. I learned how to take, you know, the chroma key to the text and add a little bit of a background that moves to it. None of these are mine. It was not original, as you guys can probably tell. But this image was, though. I mean, I didn't steal that or whatever. But yeah, I learned how to overlay things, and it's very well made. It's very well made. And then the outro, or the end of it rather, does bleed into the video itself, so I got that going. Very good intro. I really like this one. I wish the text would have been a little better, because I hate that one. I hate the one. It's just like a little stick. But this is a really good intro. I really enjoyed it. Took a while to get everything together to make it look clean. The background was good. I love it. It was a great intro. And then after that, of course, you know, so this is what I want to talk about, okay? How to Minecraft Season 2, all right? This intro was essentially the same as the first season, although it's worse. And you might be wondering, oh, why is it worse? Because the slap isn't satisfying at all, okay? I want you to watch the slap, right? You think it's gonna be like a pa-pa right in your face? How slow does that come in? Look at how slow this thing appears. Starts out here, and it's just kind of like, oh, hey, I'm here now. Very lazy. Very just did not take my time with it. So this was weird to me because, again, you know, a few months have gone by, and somehow I decided that this intro, especially after the sorcery PvP one, I mean, I get that I wanted it to be calm like the first one. It just didn't. I would size down the How to Minecraft smaller, much smaller, and just make it pop better. Make like a little background, right? I learned all these tricks in the back. Why did I not make a little pop or a little animation behind it when I came in? A lot of things that I wish I did better with this one. However, okay, time of retribution comes around. I made a better intro. This is what I love, because 2015 Brandon is not too different than 2018 Brandon. I realized, like, hey, I don't like this intro too much. The series has been going on for a while. I want to improve it, and I made this one. Got the sound cues right with this one too. Kept the slap in, of course. In fact, actually, if you zoom in a little bit here to the frames, it does like a little twirl for a bit, which, I mean, the tree, the big tree, of course, with the giant jump down and the vault below. One of my favorite builds. So this happened afterward, obviously, and then I made sure that the sound was right, so the birds chirping in the middle of the day, the morning, versus the frogs and the crickets chirping and belching away during the evening. So this was a much better intro. Although, actually, was it any longer? Hold on a second. Insert empty event. Was this intro any longer than the first one? No, it was the exact same. Okay, I was gonna say, this one seems longer. I don't know why. Maybe it's the, like, how long this is drawn out and then the zoom effect, or the speed up, but this one seems longer and feels longer, which is a problem on my end. I would have made this a little bit quicker, because my attitude and my commentary was definitely not season 1 at this point. Was a lot more hyped up. So this could have been a little bit more exciting, but for what I want to do, improving on the first intro, A+. Really proud of myself for this one. And of course, the disorganized fun. There are so many great things that I want to say about this intro. I can't really say too many wrong things. I love the pace that I did with disorganized fun in the background. I love the black and white color transition when Crazy 3 popped in. I think there was a version of this where I actually made this pop when it zoomed in, where it's not just like the text or the logo. I think I actually added a glow effect to it at one point. And then, of course, with the different episodes coming in before the break, you know, the couple little teasers in the episode. This was a really great intro, and I loved making it. It was hype, it was quick, it was good, it was fun, it got you in the mood. This was a lot better. Talking Crazy 3 in itself, this was a bigger deal, I think, than How to Minecraft. I mean, How to Minecraft, of course, got me started. Without How to Minecraft, I wouldn't have had much of a face at all. So, bigger deal, shouldn't use that term. But I didn't realize that Crazy 3 actually had much more views and a much more, like, how should I say it? I guess just more views and more outreach, because How to Minecraft was fantastic, but it was only in our group that people watched, whereas Crazy 3 at the time, this was something that everybody in the Minecraft community was playing. It was what was in. So when people searched up Crazy 3, for some things like Lucky Block, I was top search result, you know? Like, that's why I did the 1,000 Lucky Block video. Some of those have nearly 1 million. It's crazy. But the intro-wise was very, very good. Then we took a break for a little while. No series were being done. Or these were actually just going on. And then, How to Minecraft 3. I took the same spin that the other 2 seasons of How to Minecraft had with the panning up or whatever, but instead of doing a snap with the logo, I did a little fade in like this, and I didn't keep it here. Actually, I could probably just show you guys like this right here. This intro had to be a little bit different because I chroma keyed it with a transition, because I live streamed this season. right? First time I live streamed a season, and I made sure it had to blend in when the video started here. So probably a much different meta of intro that I've ever done before, and I think it turned out really good. I hate that I wasn't able to get the chroma key perfect with the transition, but I think it's just because of the blur. You can't really get that perfect, because in editing you could. In a live stream with only using OBS as your tool and nothing else, you couldn't. Maybe you, I don't think you could. But love the intro, just a really good intro. And this season, for those who didn't recall, How to Minecraft 3 or never watched, it was a war PvP based season, so it definitely fit. It definitely fit. Really, really love this. And keep it in the same kind of deal where we had HTM season 1 and 2, and then Crazy Craft come around, then season 3, and then Crazier Craft. Identical intro, pretty much. There's not much different. I mean, instead of doing the black and white to color, I decided to just do color to inverted. Don't really know why I did that. And I had to leave this part in because this was before Josh had gotten artwork for Crazier Craft done, and before I had even made a little bit of artwork, because I did make my own artwork based off his. I just put a little IER instead of the crazy, the Y. I had to leave it in. I'll have artwork here soon, LMAO. This was like, you know what? I'm starting the series. I don't give a shit if I've got artwork or not. I'm just gonna do it. And I think I got artwork a week into it. And this was such a cool thing because Crazier Craft started out as a thing for only myself, and then more YouTubers joined in as time went on, and it became a thing, and people really loved it. And it was really good timing. You know, with Crazy Craft 3.0 being a thing and there not being another Crazy Craft at the time, Crazier Craft was just perfect timing, right on the nose. And I think, unarguably, I had a better time playing Crazier Craft before. We won't talk about the ending of Crazier Craft. That was it got kind of bad. We were just using the AA mod or whatever that was for a long while because I basically tried extending Crazier Craft much longer than its lifespan. This was when I hadn't learned to just stop a series. You know, just be like, hey, cut it off, let it be, let it die, just let it end. You know, just don't drag it out longer than it needs to be. But the intro itself, yeah, identical intro to Crazy Craft 3. Just a different change right here. It's good, it's good. Lone Survivor was a little bit of it was a fun one. It was an oddball off. I definitely wish that the series had gone on longer. Entirely my fault that it ended. I still feel bad to this day that I abandoned the series and the server so abruptly. I feel horrible for it. The intro, however, I can't do this without talking about the season a little bit, but we're talking about the intro. The intro was very dark. I wish it had been a little bit brighter just because, you know, it's meant to be dark to fit the mood, but at the same time, I can barely even see it on my monitor. So it could have been a little brighter. And then with the player behind here, I wish there would have been a way to get rid of that, because you can see you got the owner tag and everything. Just, I wish there was a, you know, I wish the player could have been a bit better. But everything else and the graphic and all that, I love this intro. Josh did a fantastic job getting this whole thing together. Great artwork. God, Josh, you are incredible. And I know you're doing fantastic things for Cosmic PvP as well, too. Now it's insane. But yeah, really good intro. Just a little bit too dark. Wish it would have been a bit brighter. It was good. Music was great, too. The breathing. I remember when I had to go into a microphone and be like, because that was me there. I think I did a pretty good job sounding terrified, you know, Slenderman. Watched a couple of Let's Plays before doing it, of course. Midway through 2016, the most different intro I think I've ever made, because it was just pure hype. This is when I was so loud and just really like, hey, I'm alive! Mad Pack 3. Now, of course, that one ends off right there, but I'll show you. It did bleed into the video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 1. But it I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's Throwing Fire by Ronald Jenkins. Unless I'm stupid and it's also Disorganized Fun. I don't think it's Disorganized Fun. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I'm about to check right now. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, I'm just making sure. This was a song called Throwing Fire, so hadn't been used before. This thing, really good. Really, really good. There's not much I can say about it. It was a very well-made intro in the sense that it wasn't predefined. The only intro aspect about it was the panning in of this here in the music, but the whole intro was meant to be what I did in the episode, which could have been a slight spoiler, now that looking back at it. But I think I was pretty smart back then in the sense that I didn't include anything that was going to be a spoiler. Because back then, my pet peeve with intros, people love doing intros to their videos back then, where they would essentially spoil the entire video in the first 10 seconds. Jerome, I'm looking at you. So I wanted to make sure that nothing that I showed here was anything really that showed a lot of progress. Like, oh my god, he's in the middle of killing a boss, because it's like, great. Why watch all that 30 minutes of prep work when you can just watch the last 2 minutes of killing the boss? Because you know I'm already there. So I want to make sure. But the intro itself was really, really good. I love this one. Now, here's the point of this video almost. Take a look at the timeline here. You know, midway 2016. All through the end of 2016 and the entirety of 2017. No intros. This is I just kind of realized this a couple days ago, and it's, you know, what made me want to do this video in the first place. I realized that despite the fact that H4M happened, Pixelmon Season 2 happened, H5M as well too, other stuff. I also never made an intro for Ark. That's one that upsets me a little bit. I only did this for Minecraft, which I feel like I could have had a little bit more fun if I did one for Rocket League or for Minecraft and stuff. I wish I would have gone back and done that. But hey, Ark's coming up soon. Never know. I think I'll probably do that. But 2017, never made an intro. Never did anything. I just kept the music would cut in and you have a little blap or whatever. Money Wars, that whole deal. Never had an intro. And it was really, I don't know. It never bothered me too much back then. I think at one point it started to a little, but I mean, you guys can see, you know, through all the years back and all the series content that I did, especially when I was just starting out, like these intros were a part of what made my content really something, you know what I mean? It made my videos have this little bit of the PeteZahHutt touch, you know, like spending all this time for a one-off video, just like a one-off little part of video, this whole elaborate thing with the one survivor, the music, and granted, none of these were A-tier level. I'm not saying these were like some amazing, incredible work, but it gave it personality. All of these things, even for MMM, a series that lasted, I'm pretty sure, 2 episodes, had this intro I was so damn proud of, and I rewatched 30, 40 times. If there's anything I can tell you guys when you're a YouTuber, just starting out, okay? If you cannot bear to watch your videos back, it's not a video that's worth posting. But if you're rewatching your video, laughing at it, smiling at it, you can't stop watching that little cut you did right there, you're really proud of your work and you find yourself watching it, that's a video that's really proud to upload. And almost all of these, I found myself rewatching the beginning because I'm like, god damn, that was so good. And of course I'd want intros to be like that because people on YouTube have the shortest attention span of any people I've ever met in my entire life. Because guess what? You guys didn't get raised off of TV with 22-minute episodes and 8 minutes of commercials. You got raised off of right now, right here. So when you're a YouTuber, catching your audience's interaction in the first 6, 7, 8 seconds of a video, I know it seems short, but trust me, how many videos have you watched where you've clicked off after 8 seconds? Probably a lot. But intros that are good and videos with really poppin' fun intros or ones that just make it all right keep you invested, and they keep the viewer like, hey, this seems like a good video, you know? And I think that's something that I really did pretty well, because imagine you're watching a Crazier Craft video, you know, you just click on it and you're about to kick down and this is the first few seconds. You're gonna watch that shit, you know? It's poppin', you feel good, it makes you happy, you're like, yes, I'm gonna watch this. So that was something that I really did a fantastic time with. And looking overall at 2017, you know, it was pretty sad seeing that I didn't really do that for any of them. You know, even though H4M was a great series, for example, and Pixelmon were all fantastic, that could have been just a little bit more better if they had an intro. Which is why it's 2018 now, and trust me, you know, it's like 2018. It's essentially been 2 years since I made an intro. 2 years. Midway 2016 was when Mad Pack 3 started, and ever since then, no intros, all of 2017, and we are on the second half of 2018 now. But I think I had a little bit of an epiphany, and I think that I want to start doing that again, because 2018 got a brand new intro. That is a new series I'll be starting up on my channel in probably just, I want to say a day at most, a few hours maybe at the least, because I'm going to record this right afterward. Welcome to Hydration. And this is not a whole thing to, this isn't a whole video to advertise, because I wouldn't do that. You guys, if you want to advertise me, you can just watch it on my channel, for crying out loud. But I want to talk about this a little bit because, hell, first off, the intro. I love this intro. I love it. The vibe, the music in the background is so good. But this was an example right now of, you know, me watching some content that I've made, and I've watched this intro probably 25, 30 times since making it. With the final renditions, I've gone through hours of just making sure the music was perfect, from there being no music at all to, you know, slamming the music down right when the water hits. You know, really getting some good blur effects, transitions, all that stuff. This is fun. And, I don't know, man. I think, there's something about this. There's something about doing this, especially because I didn't do it out of force. I didn't do it out of anything like that. I did it out of excitement. And Kara can tell you, I've been talking my ass off about this series for the past 3 days straight because of this intro, because of the whole idea. And, you know, like seeing this compared to all the way back here with Marvelous Misadventures and, you know, the Battle Royale and Ultra Hardcore, the Multiplex, the Scavenger Hunt. Like, it's the same simple thing, you know. It's a lot more polished, I'll tell you that much, but can you guys see the similarities too? You know, 6 years in, it's got the same kind of format where something happens and then the text hits and then the episode. I have not changed, man. I've not changed at all. But hey, just a little video I thought I'd do to showcase this off, as well as show you guys the rest of my career of making intros. This is not supposed to be like a nostalgic reflection thing, essentially. Just wanted to show off what we've done, all these things, because I know there's some that you guys have guaranteed not seen before. That's, I think, a really cool thing with nostalgic videos. Even the most long-time viewers likely have missed 1 or 2 of these. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's probably some intros I'm missing. Hell, if I'm missing an intro, y'all probably gonna tell me in the comments and be like, I can't believe he didn't react to it. I can't believe he didn't remember. And shit, man, let me know, because I can't remember either. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. Just a little fun video to make, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I don't know, these were like one-offs, and do they really have to have a purpose? I said they had a purpose, but do they have to have a purpose? I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. We will catch you all back next time. Oh, by the way, before I leave, please do comment down below with your favorite introduction. All right? Hey, please. Do we have a little bit of fun in the comments for once? Comment down below with your favorite intro out of all of these that I've made in the 26 years that I've been doing this. The 6 years, all in 20-something that I've been doing YouTube. It could be ultra hardcore from the beginning, extreme hardcore rather. It could be Sorcery PvP. It could be Crazy Craft 3. It could be Mad Pack 3 or Lone Survivor. It could be the new one for all that I know. I made that, by the way, that little logo right there. Looks pretty good. Let me know what your favorite is. I'll catch you guys back around next time. See ya!